there. Welcome to another edition of the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show. As we normally say every evening on this program, good evening or good day or good morning, wherever you are. We are coming live to you. So if you have your smartphone or smart TV in front of you, please go on to Guyanese Critic Facebook page or TBN. Type in TBN Guyana, and we are also on YouTube. If you cannot see this program live, when you go onto YouTube, anytime after the program is finished, you will see it. Our evergreen journalist, Leonard Gildarie, is not here this evening. Leonard has his business, of course, and earning an income comes first. But rest assured, he'll be here on Friday evening, and he'll be here once there's the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show. There can be no Freddie Kissoon Gildarie show without Leonard Gildarie. So rest assured, he would be here. I am going to adopt a style of Gildarie. I have never adopted it before, but since he's not here, I will fill the void by becoming a Leonard Gildarie. I will use a Leonard Gildarie style. He normally opens the program and speak about 5, 6, 7 minutes about some observations that he would like you to know. And that has been his modus operandi since this program started 7 months ago. It's a new year. This program has now gone into its going into its 8th month. And it, from the numbers, from the reaction in and out of Guyana, we can safely say it has been a success. But it would not have been a success if it wasn't for Michael Rodriguez. Now, I don't know if you know who's Michael Rodriguez. You probably do. He's well known throughout Guyana and abroad as Guyanese critic. But as I said to him in an interview we did this week, he has been my friend a long time, so he would always be Michael Rodriguez for me. This program, the past 8 months, has been resting on the fulcrum of the generosity of Michael Rodriguez. He has provided us with a platform, and at the beginning of the year, we did express our gratitude to him, and we'd like to express our gratitude again. So let's get to the Gildarie style, and then we'll get into a guest that has a curriculum vitae longer than the Essequibo River, but we'll talk about that. So some of the things you need to know. One is the police was chasing a drug suspect. They arrested him. They found about 7 pounds of ganja in his car. Some people in the villages objected to that. One can say those things happen worldwide. But what that has to do with a man driving his truck peacefully going on his way, and he's beaten and his truck is burnt, and one suspects that the talk is this happened outside of Buxton because the guy is an Indian. Now, we don't know if the intention was to harm an Indian man, but there's a pattern. And when you have a pattern, it's on patterns that people come up with scientific conclusions. So one can say the conclusion is an Indian people have to suffer again. What the police chasing a suspected criminal, arrested him. What that has to do with a man driving his truck on the public road? Now, that was in Buxton. In Hope Town a few nights ago, a car struck down 2 pedestrians. There is video evidence available that the 2 men came out of the car. Next thing you know, 20, 30 people are beating the two drivers, and they're both Indians. Other drivers stop when they see what was happening. They drove away. You cannot have people from villages just attacking people at random and burning their cars. one of those men that was beaten is in critical condition. There have to be some kind of systematic program of lining this country with surveillance cameras. And when you see innocent people being beaten, those people should be charged, and they should be charged with a serious crime, attempted murder. Finally, I live just outside the Atlantic Ocean, and so I take the Atlantic Ocean Highway all the time to come to Georgetown, to come to this studio. And outside of Movietown, there's a pedestrian crossing. And the employees of Movietown and Marseille and other businesses in that compound, pedestrians, they cross the pedestrian crossing. Do you know, several times I stopped, and oncoming cars going west did not stop for those people, and they could have been injured. And it happened when I was coming here. It happened when I was coming here. I was going elsewhere before I came here, and I stopped, and they did not stop for the people. Suppose those people see a car stop and just walk, they will be killed. The surveillance cameras have to capture those criminal drivers and charge them with a more serious crime than dangerous driving. You come out of Movietown, you walk in, and then on the pedestrian cross, and then you're killed. And a security rank was killed right outside Movietown because of that. Well, that was my Gildarie style. Now let's go on to our program. We have a co-host this evening. That's because Leonard Gildarie couldn't make it. Our co-host name is Akash Persaud. He's no stranger to the media. He spent about 17 years, and he's across the table. He can tell me if it's 17, 18, 19. 17. But I think it's 17 years at the Chronicle. And the media platform that this program and many other programs are being hosted on, it's called Daybreak News, and he's the general manager. But I asked him to co-host this program because he gels with our guests, and he knows our guests very well. And he acted in movies that our guests produced and directed. So I am going to let Akash Persaud do most of the guiding of the show because of who our guest is. Now, who is our guest? We once had an icon on this program named Ron Robinson, and you will see later my co-host acted in a movie with Ron Robinson, directed by our guest. So we have another icon in the cultural field of this country. His name is Mahadeo Shivraj, and you would have seen one or two of his movies. And one of his movies is about to dawn in the studios or the compound or in the theater of Movietown. It's Brown Sugar 2. And seeing that he's our guest, I definitely would have to see that show. Maybe he will pay for my ticket. Mahadeo Shivraj in the entertainment and cultural business goes back a long time. I will give you brief words on his curriculum vitae. Here we go. In 1987, first acted at the National Culture Center, and since 1987 has acted in more than 90 plays. Wow. I think he's coming, or he is in the same category with our theater icons. Acted in 90 plays and directed more than 30 in Guyana and New York. That's an impressive CV. Let's read on. In film and television, he has acted in shows like, this program is heavily patronized by the diaspora, they would know some. I call the names of the television and film items that he was in. New Amsterdam, Girls 5 Eva, Poker Face, Turtle Rock, The Americans, Broad City, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Master of None, Goatface, The Smurf, Good Time, and a recurring role on the Dear Edwards series. He's also produced, directed, and starred in 8 of his own films. Now, many of those films, we will give you short clips, and that will be the first that we have done that since our program has started. Fellow Guyanese in the diaspora and Guyana, cultural icon Mahadeo Shivraj. Mahadeo, thanks for being here. And Akash, first time co-hosting.
Thank you,
and I'm
sir.
going to show you once I'm here, it would not be the last. Now, Mahadeo, I'm going to let your friend and your fellow cultural artist do the maneuvering, the steering, or the questions.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Indeed,
Thanks,
indeed.
Akash.
When when this gentleman told me that he was coming, I said, man, I have to talk to Mr. Freddie Kissoon to have you on the largest talk show in this country, the biggest talk show. We have the most views. And immediately said, man, that'll be a good thing. And as he said earlier, he never dreamt that he would have been sitting in the same room or with Freddie Kissoon. So Freddie Kissoon is the celebrity here today, right?
No,
Yes.
no, a crazy man. He is a celebrity.
So-
Yo, man, look the man's CV. Look the man. This is just a brief output of his CV. Man acted in movies. Now, what I didn't say in my introduction, he came in a movie with the international icon whose name will always be remembered once there's the movie industry, not the American movie industry. Once there's the movie industry in the world, the incredible Bruce Lee. So, Akash, go ahead.
I don't think it's Bruce Lee. I think it's Bruce Willis.
Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Lee.
Bruce
Bruce
Willis.
Willis done beat you up already. You understand? But Freddie, you're right. This is
But Bruce Willis is more famous than
Indeed.
because the
And
younger
Denzel
generation will forget about Bruce Lee.
the same movie had Denzel Washington and Bruce Willis. It's called
yeah.
The Siege, in which Mahadeo Shivraj acted. And I'll tell you how I
I
came
wish
to
we
know
could
about
get
that.
a piece of clip of that. Anyway,
And you're right. This is a national icon. This is a man who was, and I've been around Shiv for a little while, and I can tell you that he's put not only his effort, he's put his own money into making movies in Guyana because he believes that this is his homeland and this is where he needs to put his art, and he wants to give people an opportunity here to do movies. Shiv has been in the industry for a little while. I remember the first time I saw Mahadeo Shivraj he was on a television program and I was watching a black and white TV. Not that because so long that I had to watch black and white TV, but I couldn't afford a color TV. So I had a little black and white TV. Mahadeo Shivraj was on that show. He was zero shaven because he came for his mother's funeral. And what year was that?
2000.
2000. And I'm looking at this guy and he's talking about this movie, The Siege and so on. And I'm telling myself, I said, man, I believe I can act because I just look at myself in the mirror and me look so good, but I'm not good act, right? So I said, I hope I meet this man one day. A few years after that, I met Mahadeo Shivraj in a minibus. And we happened to sit next to each other. So I'm hoping to meet this man. A few years after I met him in a minibus. And I said, Mahadeo Shivraj. He said, yes. I said, man, my name is Akash. I think that I have some acting skills. He said, okay, give me your number. He took my number. And I never hear back from this man. 4 years after that, he called me on the phone. He said, are you still interested in acting? I said, man, is Mahadeo Shivraj? I said, yeah, you sure you got the right number? He said, is Akash? I said, yes. He said, can you show up tomorrow for an audition? It was the filming of Brown Sugar Part 1. And that was 4 years after. It goes to show that you don't give up on things.
well, no, you never give up.
Never give up because
Don't.
it was a dream of mine to get into film. And when he did the interview, the audition, subsequently we had to attend a wedding reception that he was there and I was the MC for the program.
Yeah.
So when he see me on the dance floor, the man said, bye, I got a movie, another role for you because I was supposed to do a pandit role. My father was a pandit.
Yeah, I don't know your father.
Right? So he said, man, listen, I think I have a different role for you. And the role for you will be this cane cut with me because we had a scene that we got to go and film at the rum shop and they got a lot of dancing. And I believe, so we did the dancing and so on. And over the years, I've come to know Shiv, and I've seen his movie, I've seen his work. I've come to recognize the type of person he is. And indeed, Mahadeo Shivraj is a national icon. We've had Letitia right here recently. And in the same mode, Mahadeo Shivraj should be recognized for his work and what he's been doing for the film industry in Guyana. Because whenever he has to do a movie, he comes in Guyana, take the local actors here and give them an opportunity. Many whom has never acted, like myself. He said, you think you're going to do this? Come, let me see what you can do. And he's given people an opportunity to be in films. And these are not just local films showing here, they're international, because most of the movies would have premiered in New York.
Yeah.
And we've had a great actress who have been in the movies called Radhika Larte. Yeah, every time I look at films, I always remember her. And Freddie, I can tell you that what Shiv has been doing for the theater industry and what he's been doing for films in Guyana, I don't think that's ever been done by anyone else. And Shiv, welcome to this program.
Thank you.
There is so much more I can say about you, but let's hear from you, man.
Well, but
Thank you.
let's talk first before time go.
Mhm.
You know what's happening with time, but we have to get our priorities right. Brown Sugar 2 will be released, and he will tell us when,
Yeah.
and tell us about Brown Sugar 2. Before you go, make sure you give me my
Yes.
money to pay for my ticket.
Yeah, of
Right.
course. Yeah. So Brown Sugar 2 actually comes from a backdrop of that time, that period when the 7,000 sugar workers were laid off. It's not a true story, but it has a lot of truth in it, you know. So,
Fictionalizing a fact.
yes, put it that way, that's correct. And from that, we give the impression of everything being okay until it's not okay. In other words, what I'm saying is that this the sugar industry goes on until oil comes, and when oil comes and that boom begins, the sugar industry is just slipping away, and the oil is coming in the forefront, and because of that, lots of things happen from that 7,000 sugar workers being laid off, their families being affected, and all of that. That's how this whole story about Brown Sugar 2 came about. And so I think it's an eye opener for people who will come to see it. And I hope that they'll take away a lot from it when they reflect on everything that they see.
Okay, we're going to go into several clips, and I'm going to let Akash guide me with those clips. Akash knows about the technical side of things. But before I ask Akash to do his technical stuff and show us the clips, you want to tell us who are some of the stars? Because some of them will be quite famous in Guyana.
Oh, yeah. There's Nia Soban, Sean Thompson, Simone Dowding, Mark Luke Edwards, Roshan Khan, Michael Ignatius, Young Bill Rogers, Roger Hines. I think those are the
Roshan
more
Khan.
well-known.
Roshan Khan.
Roshan Khan. I thought I missed him. Huh? How could I do that?
He's
Yeah.
people will go to see him.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And there are many who are making their debut in the film.
You should be able to get some marketing latitude, because one of the stars in your movie is now the head of NCN,
Oh, yes.
Nia Saban. And Mr. Roshan Khan is a well-known business person. So I would hope if they're looking at this program, you're in the movie, please give Brown Sugar 2 some mileage. Now, Akash, is there anything you have for us?
Well, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna have a look at the trailer for this movie, Brown Sugar 2 Bit of Me Part 2. Because we want to give and you're gonna see some of the actors and in this trailer. It's a good trailer. So
Our viewers will be seeing it now.
yes, our viewers will be seeing it. Operator, if you can take me to the clip, please.
I will have to tell. Oh.
We need change. A change is what you will get.
Come tonight to let me see if you can oil this curvaceous machine.
Consider him dead. Dead.
This men would lose their lives in Guyana.
We can't tell you what we do if we go wrong.
But let me tell you what I know.
So that, Freddie, is the trailer for Brown Sugar
Well,
Winter for Me Part 2.
I can't see Mr. Ocean Khan charging you for his role, neither near Saban. They are well placed, so they don't need. But I think what you have done there, what Brown Sugar 2, the premiere of it will do there, is to help our budding actors. We've had several literary icons here, and you'll be amazed if you look at some of those shows, Shiv. Those people don't make anything. Theater is so important. You know what I believe? If you don't have teachers, doctors, science, society would not progress. But if you don't have the psychological, cultural, poetic side of civilization, would civilization survive? I don't think any country could survive without a cultural side to it. Music.
Totally.
I mean, Shakespeare said, if music be the food of love, play on, give me excess of it, that's feeding the appetite may sicken and so die. I mean, music, theater, so important. Do you know how many people, buy books and poetry, but
Right.
the book industry, and your thing is going to give people, those actors, a good a good push off. I hope
Oh,
so.
yes.
Now, let us talk about, and Akash is the man here. Let us talk about some other of your work. Akash, can you stop me and take over, please?
Well, when I asked Shiv to tell us about some of his work, I think that when for him to tell us about his work wouldn't do it much justice unless we see his work. So what he did, he sent a demo reel to us, and in this demo reel, it previews some of his roles that you'd have
Yeah,
played
a bit.
in some of those big plays. But Shiv, I remember before we go to this reel, you did a show on Broadway also, right?
Off Broadway.
Yes.
Off Broadway. I had the opportunity for Broadway, but at that time I was an illegal alien. So
Okay.
I had to back down.
So you did an off Broadway.
But I did off Broadway. A few off Broadway showcases, yes.
Nice. So we're gonna go to just for you to have a sense of Shiv's craft and what he does. We're gonna play this demo reel.
So, Dave, how is the acting going?
It's going well. This was actually my first movie audition.
Well, if the first audition went well, that's very good.
Oh, thank you. Please tell my dad. He's wondering why I'm not starring in Iron Man already.
So, how did you get into the acting? This was something you always wanted to do? Very good. You're making a good life. At your age, your father had barely stopped working at the zipper factory.
Zipper Factory.
Yep. I worked in zipper factory for 2 years to get money to go to medical school.
You never told me about that?
Yes, your father worked very hard. You know the little tabs that go on the end of the zipper that you pull? He made the holes in them. He was the best. If he didn't come to America, you would probably be working in that same zipper factory now, making the holes.
Yes, of course.
Here.
Yes? Pleasure to meet you, sir.
Everything's fine in the sunshine.
I'm so sorry. The cops, they moved me here, they moved me there.
Don't worry about it. Let's go.
Are we still going to the port?
Yes. Nothing's changed. Exact same place.
What was that sound?
Excuse me, you only gave me a bun. No, sir. You turn around and eat hot dog. You still chewing it. Oh, so that's why you're on a hot dog cart. Because you're a mouth expert.
Are you kidding me?
You eat too many hot dogs. Please, I am concerned. I copied this article on sodium for you.
Fine, but I will be reporting this to the Fox problem solvers.
You can't be out in public. Who are you talking to?
We could just have a quick look around in your predicting
I
parlor.
really want to go home.
Come on, man, I gotta go.
Just please.
You don't need a pundit or priest to tell you that. And how the water in the earth meet the ocean someday. She used to look at these cane fields and see beauty. Remember how she used to look out and say that the canes look like waves in the ocean. And all I could see was the bitterness of brown sugar. This was her home. This is where she would want her ashes to be spread. Goodbye. Go home and keep a place for me. Keep a place. Keep a place for me, Leela. Keep a place.
Thank you, guys. Freddie, I see you got a bit emotional there just now with all this crying and so on, man.
I think you need to change your glasses. That is a good introduction to people who didn't know you and who didn't follow your career. But it goes to show how we have this talent that needs to be promulgated. I mean, I would like to think this show has introduced you to people who don't follow your films. That was quite impressive. I would ask Akash if, when we go on, if we have any more clips, and if we do, by Akash works with this platform, Daybreak News. I'm a fan of Ron Robinson. I would like to see a clip of Akash and Ron Robinson in Shiv Mahadeo's production of Replacement what?
Protection game.
Protection Game. That's about the darker side of human greed.
It's a murder mystery kind of thriller movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to Akash, you the co-host, but you also like a kind of a guest because you have to talk about yourself too. Now, when you told me that, hey, I got Mahadeo Shivraj, um, I was in process of contacting two guests, and I said, no, no, definitely, right away. I remember saying to you, Akash, that's a done deal. And one of the things we discussed, which you need to tell us tonight, is that when you were in Brown Sugar 1, and you couldn't act in Brown Sugar 2 because the movie had a kind of indictment against what the government did to the sugar workers. And at that time, you were working with either the famous or the infamous Moses Dagamutu, the prime minister, and you were concerned that when the establishment, when the political corridors see Brown Sugar 2, you may lose your job. You want to tell us about that?
I don't want to get into much to it, but what I can say is that there were some concerns. When Shiv sent me the script, because we did Brown Sugar 1, then we did Protection Game, and subsequently sent me the script for, there were two other movies that we'd read script for, which may still happen. But when he sent me the script for that one, I had some concerns. And when I called Shiv, I said, Shiv, I love this script. It's beautiful. The role that you're giving me, I would love to play that. However, out of my own concern, I don't think I can do it because, and I don't want to elaborate on it because, as we say, sometimes water on the bridge. However, I may add that sometimes the people who are in the art industry and in the arts in this country, they have to be doing their craft cognizant of the fact that they may be
victimized.
Yes.
Well, you weren't there. We had Ron Robinson here, and he told us the problems he had with the Link Show.
Right.
And he had to go to Prime Minister Burnham to seek refuge. And from his own account, Burnham was quite understanding. But Shiv, tell us about your life. Tell us about who you are, or where you grew up, how you come in 1987, your first play. Tell us about Mahadeo Shivraj. So when this program is over, and a year from now, 2 years from now, people are looking at going to YouTube and look at the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show, and then they see these clips and they see this man. Tell us about Mahadeo Shivraj.
Well, I was born in Drysdale Street, Charlestown.
You're a city boy like me.
Yeah. So I grew up with a mixed ethnicity. Most of my friends were Afro-Guyanese. I went to school with mostly Afro-Guyanese. I worked with mostly Afro-Guyanese at the Ministry of Education, Guyana National Cooperative Bank. And I say all of that because I believe in this oneness that the president is preaching right now. We need to make that happen in a bigger way. So kudos to him on that. From there, I moved to Lamaha Gardens. I was 14 when we actually moved there in 1972. And I always dreamt of being an actor since I was maybe 4 or 5 years old, as far as I can remember. I grew up, my grandparents, they used to go to the movies twice a week. Once, either Empire Plaza or Liberty, and the other, on Saturday, they used to go to Starlight Drive-In. And I remember telling my grandfather that one day we were looking at a movie. I think Shami Kapoor was the star. And I said, hey, I could do that. And my grandfather was like, oh, you could do that? What do you mean you could do that? I said, yeah, I know I could do that. And you know, it was in me all the time. And so I had a great job at the bank. I was a junior assistant manager. My wife was
Whose bank is that?
Guyana National Cooperative Bank. My wife was just below the assistant permanent secretary or something at the Ministry of Education. And I told my wife, you know what, I don't want to do this. I want to be an actor. Let's go to America. Let's just give it a shot. I give up everything. But you know, I was so fortunate to marry the woman I married, because any other woman I married, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. She was so simple and humble. She understood that we're going to probably be living below poverty, but I just wanted to do this. And she said, okay, let's go. And unfortunately, she got sick when we got there. And for 10 years, I couldn't pursue the career. I was 50 when I went to my first audition, 50 years old. Wow. And I was dreaming of this in my 30s. So, but I didn't give up. and she didn't give up on me. And she said, Mahadeo, if this is what you want to do, just do it. So my son reached the age to go to college. I waited another year or two, let him finish, and then I left my job and I started doing it. And I think one thing that people are not aware of is that, you know, America, people come from all over the world to be in Hollywood to get to become a star. You know,
Remember that Boyd Bacharach, the famous Boyd
Yes.
Bacharach hit? Do you know the way to San Jose?
All right.
Some people go to become stars, and in the song, they're pumping gas.
Yeah.
Years go by, and they ain't pumping
Exactly.
gas.
And you know, I personally have so many friends from all over the world of different ethnic backgrounds that came there, and they've been in this business 20, 30 years, and they never did even one clip like you saw there, not even one line in a movie, they just had to act as an extra just to make ends meet. But do you know that there is a 98% unemployment rate in the acting profession? And 95% of the actors are unemployed on any given day. That's how bad it is. And it's the most competitive profession in the world. So the odds are so much against you, you know? But anyway, I chose that. And for what it is, I enjoy what I'm doing. I live on little. I live simply, humbly, and I have my wife backing me up, and she has learned to live with little, but let me go for my dream. But the other thing I wanted to was when I was growing up in Guyana, I thought that when I left school, I would have had the opportunity to act in some film or something because they had made Anmol Bandan and then Agro Seasman. So I said, okay, we're going to have a film industry. Nothing else ever happened. They did Songs of the Sugar Cane, which showed one day and then it was done. So imagine I come back here now in 2010 to make my first film, and I'm giving myself the opportunity that I was hoping for since I was a teenager. But that's how life is, you know. The good thing about it is, like, unlike cricket or baseball or football, you got to retire at a certain age. But with this, you can play any role at any age, you know, once you have health. So I'm grateful and thankful to God for the talent that He has entrusted to me. And so I know this is not mine. I'm just here for a little short while, and I'm enjoying it, and I thank Him for that.
Okay, Akash, take over.
Yeah.
Actor, director, actor.
Yes. And what Shiv is saying about how he came up and so on, and it makes me realize something. Like, you got your first role at 50, you said, right? Or that you did a first audition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In America.
Yeah.
Film-wise.
Yeah. And bring back to something I was listening to. Colonel Sanders, the Kentucky Fried Chicken man. He went about every way, telling everybody, I have the best recipe for chicken, best recipe for chicken. Colonel Sanders did not get his first franchise until he was in his 60s.
Yep.
Kentucky Fried Chicken sell more chicken than anyone else in the world today. And that is because he didn't give up. Shiv wanted to do this since he was a teenager, and he didn't give up. He got his first audition at 50, and here you are making movies. Your dream is coming true.
Yeah.
I know you asked about Ron Robinson just now. So before time run out, I want to show this clip because I know Ron is an icon, and he was here on this show also. So this is the movie called Protection Game that was shot in 2015. Yes. So operator, we're going to go to this movie trailer, please.
Mr. Ravi Bihari, you are hereby charged with second-degree murder. Why did you ask for bail?
Where's the gun? I know I had the gun in my hand, but I can't remember what happened to it. I can smell the Chinese food all over the station.
You know what are the only two things in this world that belongs to the poor? The sea and the sky.
This is expensive cologne. I want you to smell like that on the job. Miss Mahavir.
Did Mr. Yasin always keep his gun in his pants?
Your Honor, I really must object to this.
Objection overruled.
If the victim is facing the left-handed shooter head-on, the bullet would have hit frontally.
A 19mm bullet would be too big to be accommodated in the chamber of a .22 Ruger revolver, sir.
What did you observe when you entered the bedroom, detective?
I saw Mr. Farouk lying face up with blood pooling over the left side of his head and his face.
My son is renting space in the police station right now.
What is the matter? Was he involved in a road accident?
You are playing with a mistrial, Counselor. Prison is a different kind of job, Mr. Bihari. The prisoners make the rules and run the prison.
If this case goes to the jury, your client may end up with 10 years. If you accept my deal, you can walk within 2 years. What you say, Mrs. Santos? Shall we shake on it?
See you in court, Mr. Bihari.
You're going too fast, Chief. I don't want you to take my life in a car crash. Shut your ass, man.
Drop to the floor or I'll send you to your sorting death.
That's why you want to go. You walk away with me.
But you know those films, Akash and Mahadeo, those films should be shown to people. There should be some kind of a Sunday night, a Sunday night special, not with any expensive ticket price, but there is Guyanese talent. I saw the guy Ignatius there. We have to show those films to people. You have to talk to the Minister of Education or the Minister of Culture, and let's put aside let there be some like one night in a year or in a week that people could go to see these films. I suspect ticket price will be a problem, but what we saw there is Guyanese talent on parade. You know, I've never seen those movies, and I'm telling you now, I would like to see them. And I think if they're put on in either in the mall, Giftland Mall, or Movie Town, it will get an audience. Do you know, now Mahadeo Shivraj, you are 10 years older than me, 10 years younger than me, excuse me. That's a foreign thing. But do you know, so I don't think you would know, but Akash is out. He hasn't reached our age yet. But there was a thriving movie industry in this country, pioneered by a Guyanese Chinese named Vivian Lee.
Right.
And he make If Wishes Were Horses, Operation...
Well, Operation Macanaima was made by a producer from Trinidad. But the cameraman was from here, I think. Freddie Sanchara. But we had 3 or 4 films, and then that was it. Nothing else happened after that.
But tell us about this movie that's showing on the 19th. It's premiering at Movie Town. Tell us about that, because that's what
it's 50. Sorry.
You don't want us to run a clip again?
We'll run another clip at the end of it.
It's premiering on February 19th at 3 p.m. at Movie Town, and then from Monday to Friday it will be 7 p.m. and the next weekend it will be 3 o'clock, Saturday, Sunday. That's how it's run. Weekend 3, and during the week it's 7, and it's going to run from the 19th to the 28th. And if people keep coming out, it will probably run longer, and we hope that will happen.
And not selling any part of the movie, but other than what we saw in the trailer, we'll show it again. What can the audience really expect out of this?
You know, before I answer that, I just want to say thanks to Pixels, Guyana Inc., Leonard Gildarie, for coming on board to promote the film on his screens. As soon as I called him and I asked him right away, he
I'm
said
sorry he
yes.
couldn't be here.
And me too. So thanks very much. I really appreciate that. Multi-million times thanks. And thanks to Nia Saban for all the help he has given me since I came here. I called him from New York and I said, you know, I'm coming. It's just going to be for a short while. Could you help me in these doing these certain things? And he just came on board and helped tremendously. So I want him to know that I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. And for everyone who has made some impact in terms of some kind gesture, whether it's through an interview or in whatever way, I appreciate very much. Thanks to everyone.
Akash, I don't know if Mikhail Rodriguez is listening or watching this program. If he is, he can call my phone and speak to me. But when I've known Mikhail Rodriguez a long time, and I could see Mikhail in a Mahadeo Shivraj production,
No.
and it would be good.
But it's funny you're saying though.
It would be good.
No.
Mikhail, are you looking at this program?
No.
Would you take a role?
Freddie, when Mahadeo Shivraj came into the studio earlier, as a matter of fact, when he spoke to me from New York, he said, "Bye, you know, I always wanted cricket critic to be in one of my movies." And when he came to the studio, you were not here. He spoke to the man outside. He said, "You know what? Just talk to Akash and we'll set it up."
Yeah.
So he doesn't even need an audition.
I am going to tell Mahadeo Shivraj right now. If you put a movie starring Mikhail Rodriguez, a.k.a. Guyanese critic, I am telling you, that is a sellout.
Sellout, yeah.
He just got the kind of personality to play a bandit, a man on the run, and then the police corner him. The police corner him, and Guyanese critic just do away with them.
Actually, the role that I had for him is kind of like that characterization.
And he's tall, big built.
Yeah.
Operation Macanima.
You won't believe this. I haven't shared this with anyone yet, but I'll share it now. I've been behind Mr. Ronald Hollingsworth for about 15 years for his script, Watch the Right to Justice. I wanted to make it into a crime thriller, right? Finally, in October, he said, "Chef, go ahead." So I wrote the screenplay, adapted the play and wrote the screenplay, introduced like 10 other characters and stuff like that. And he was busy, so he didn't read the script until a week before the last. And he called me and he was like, "You know what? I want you to put the Indian guys as the Indian couple as the lead." I said, "No, I want it Afro-Guyanese because I need to bring out more Afro-Guyanese into this film. And I need to bring out younger people in the audience and stuff like that." So he said, "Okay." So I said, "You know what? I'm reading the script now, and the first person that comes to my mind to play a detective,
Yes,
but
the
an
Guyanese critic,
erratic
Mikhail
detective, is Mikhail Rodriguez. Just from seeing him on the show and driving around and stalking and stuff like that, and somebody called him, and then he I said, "This is the right guy to play this role." So I called I left a voice message on WhatsApp. I know he listened, but he didn't respond. But in the message, I said, "When I come to Guyana, I'll make sure that I see you." So it so happened that when I came tonight, he was there. And I told him again, and he was like, "Talk to Akash." Yes, why not?
You see, when Mikhail Rodriguez make this big money on this movie, he already introduced me as a manager. So Chef got to come to me. But here I'm looking over here and I look at Freddie.
Yeah.
And I think Freddie could play a role in the movie too.
I have no interest. I studied philosophy all my life.
No, but you could be.
I am not 6 feet.
You could be a philosopher.
I am not 6 feet like Mikhail. Oh, I know what role I could play.
But
the police cornered Mikhail, and Mikhail now has to make a decision. The building is surrounded. I'm in the classroom, and he run into the school, and he has to decide what to do, either to shoot it out with the police or to give up. And then he comes to this guy teaching philosophy in the classroom and he says, tell me what is human existence? What are people made of? What makes people tick? You always write about Sigmund Freud. Tell me what Freud said about human. And then I will say to him, go thy way, my son.
Freddie did the shortest line in the history of films.
But if you're writing a script, seriously, Mahadeo, that if Mikhail agrees, that is going to be a big hit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And on the topic
I
of
hope he's looking.
And on the
Please tell him when you
Yeah.
come to work tomorrow, please tell him we have something lined up.
The man spoke to him already.
Yeah. And on the topic of him asking you to be a part, I think it would be great, even if it's just a walk-on, to say one line, for you to be in it, just for posterity. You know what I mean? Because that will be there for forever. You know.
You have my word. No, just one thing, Akash. How much should I charge for that?
Well, here, there's another movie that Chef did.
Gratis or
Mabri, among the money you got this thing gratis.
all right, gratis then.
Yeah.
Gratis. I've never drank no smoke. Either ice cream, local ice cream, or a Jamaican chocolate.
Okay.
Well, you got, hey, we're joking. I'm not joking about this. You got to put Mikhail in that.
Definitely.
And I will just, Alfred Hitchcock. You've seen Alfred Hitchcock movies. You ever see any of?
Yeah, I said the bird.
You would see the actors pass in, and you will just see a man pass and go into a telephone booth. That would be Hitchcock. In all his movies,
exactly.
you just see he make a second appearance. They're coming out of a department store, he's walking in. So my role will be Mikhail quarreling with somebody, and I just pass.
Okay.
There's only ice cream. You got work for the chocolate next. But Chef, it's we're really happy to have you here. When I told Freddie that you're coming, he said right away we're gonna do this. I'm happy that you're here. Now you're premiering Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me Part 2 on the 19th. But these other clips that we would have looked at, and there's one more that I want to show, 83 Million G's, which I saw the play for 83 Million G's from London, I think in 1997. 95, 97, I saw the play that was done at the National Culture Center, and then they took it to Essequibo. And I saw the play twice there. Will this movie be showing also?
Well,
anytime soon?
these movies should have been shown, but because of the absence of cinema in the country and the piracy, I had lost so much from the previous movies, I decided not to put them out. And so I still have them at home. But when I went to Movie Tongue, in connection with Brown Sugar 2, I told them, look, I have 2 of my movies, I've never shown them. Could we show the trailer before the movie starts? And probably bring them after this is over. And they agreed. They said, just bring the trailer to a minute and they'll show it. So let's see.
I am suggesting that the Ministry of Culture or the Ministry of Education sponsor a night. The advertisements on social media, in the newspapers, a night with Mahadeo Shivraj, in which 3 movies will be shown, and the government could subsidize the price. No, what we saw tonight cannot remain obscure. When we started this program, we said we hope it will lead to the recording of history, and it has. I remember we had the famous lawyer, the famous politician Ralph Kamkarane, and he brought out some information about his political life that has now gone into history. And I am glad that we have this program in which thousands of people would know that this guy made films, very interesting films with talented actors. There should be a night entitled Night with Mahadeo Shivraj. The operator signaled that it's time to go. We need to see that clip before we go.
So this was a movie called 83
Operator,
Million.
a clip coming up there.
83 Million G's, and after this one here, we'll be wrapping up. But this is another movie that you said we'll be showing sometime. So right, so we go to this clip.
How much more time do we have, operator?
Run up and down like a Tom and Jerry.
How much?
Never steal an even amount. It's too suspicious. 83. Not 80. 83 million G's.
So, you get 20, Jerry gets 20, and I get 43.
Bacchus, what the hell is wrong with you?
43 million is endless dollars. Me and me brother will turn it over.
You talking about greed, eh? You is the greedy one. You alone want $43 million. $43 million for you alone. Half of the cash.
I'm going to have half, so what?
Jerry, you don't know me, boy. I wear a suit and tie and work at a big fancy bank, but that don't make me decent.
What you mean by that? What? Is you threatening me?
All I'm saying is don't push me.
I not gonna eat dal and rice when I can afford chicken.
I eat dal and rice because I got my priorities in order. I got a house, a car, and a good solid bank account. And most of all, I have been able to educate my children. All because I eat dal and rice. Look, I get to the police.
Humble yourself. Yeah, humble yourself. You play your head.
Hey, John, relax.
You see, I did black people. Yeah, I take advantage of other people. Right now, we're so rich, we could buy the whole Regent Street.
I hope y'all understand.
I understand you're accustomed to handling so much money. It's getting you excited. Right? You already down there? Yeah, boy. Me okay. You put me out. You put me out, and I will sell out this whole operation. What? Don't have about me, boy, because I would pass you out to here right now.
Back a share of 43 million.
Shut up.
No, if we can get this kind of nigga yard
Who you calling a nigga?
If the cap fits, you wear it.
Man.
Shut up!
And I say, buff people stupid. I is beat all.
Investment was not in the initial arrangement. Yet you give your sons a lot of money to invest. And look what? A conspicuous shit like cocaine.
Now, which one of us?
Fish up the entire operation.
Yes.
Not me.
I don't quite get it.
Look, not me, Bacchus. All I just do is buy Chinese food.
No, man. Something's wrong here. Akash, something is wrong here. Those films, those clips of those films we just saw, if they were produced in Jamaica, they would have hit the Jamaican
Absolutely.
cinemas.
Absolutely.
If any minister of the government is looking, if the president is looking, the vice president, those movies should be shown in Guyana. And this has been an eye-opener for me. What I have seen there is talent. I have seen no kind of so-called, they're meeting the requirement of the emotion. The actors are not meeting the requirement of facial expressions. That is, anyone who see those clips would admit that's our local homegrown products, and they should be shown to Guyana. Mahadeo, you have my admiration, and I'm sure for the thousands who are watching, you have their admiration.
Thank you.
Those items should not remain in obscurity. You let me ask my co-host for his final words, and then we wrap up with you.
Well, my final words would be that since Mahadeo is here to premiere this movie on the 19th, I would want to urge people watching out there and Guyanese across this country to come down to Movie Town and watch this movie. I think you're going to be blown away by the talent. I've been part of his movies. I know what to expect, and I don't want to sell part of it out. But I can tell you, it's mind blowing. We got singing and dancing in this one too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's always having some singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Mahadeo, I wish you the best, and I know that you will continue to do great things.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, I want to thank Leonard for helping, and he has for helping, and for you guys having me here, including Guyanese Critic. And I want to tell you one little short story.
Go ahead.
Just so that people will understand where I'm coming from. When I made Brown Sugar Too Bitter for Me, the first one, I went into Richmond Hill, Little Guyana, with flyers about the movie, and I started distributing. People passed, and I said, I made this movie, a Guyanese movie. Could you, because it's all Guyanese living there, could you come and support? And a Guyanese woman took that flyer and she threw it back at me, and she said, "Bye, me no want see stupidness. Guyanese can make movie." And I was dumbfounded, because I thought to myself, she didn't see my movie. She don't know who I am. She don't know if I could make a movie. But because I'm a Guyanese, she doesn't make up her mind that I can't do it. Like I had to be from Hollywood or Bollywood, and that's a very that's a bad thing, that our people don't give us the opportunity. They don't have an open mind to see that, hey, we have talent. We could do it also, but we just need that opportunity, that chance to showcase it, So I would ask the audience to come out and see it. Don't think that we can't do it. We could do it. And the more you come out and make it happen, the more we'll be able to do. And more young talent. There's so many things that I would like to do. I'm making a film right now, shooting a film right now in New York called Appointment with Karma. I'm hoping this film will go to the festivals. I'm hoping it could be the first Guyanese film to go to Netflix. I don't know if it will happen, but I believe that if you don't give it a try, you will never know. I'm going to go up to the festivals against people like Steven Spielberg, who have multi-million dollars. I'm just going to do it with $5, $10, $15,000. But I'm going up there and give it a shot as a Guyanese. And let it be, whether I could make a mark or not, we'll see. But if I could make it to that Netflix because somebody recognized, well, oh my God, there's talent, Yeah, I look forward to something like that,
Yeah. All right.
Thank you. You've been looking at the Freddie Kissoon Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show, whatever for. Leonard Gildarie was not here this evening. He will most definitely be here on Friday. It was scintillating, titillating, interesting, and absorbing to be talking to a Guyanese filmmaker who has made very, very interesting and talented products. On behalf of TBN, on behalf of Leonard Gildarie, Mikhail Rodriguez, we hope to see you Friday evening. Take care of yourself, and as Leonard Gildarie would say, drive safely. Bye-bye. Au revoir, auf Wiedersehen. See you later.